Right guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. In this one I'm just going to be showing you how to get your Di2 12-speed rear derailleur out of crash mode, so to speak. So if you've got a problem with the rear derailleur and while you're riding you're wondering what's going on with it, this might help you out. So we have the Ultegra Di2 derailleur. Doesn't matter which one you've got, it could be a 105, a 12-speed or the Dura-Race. This just happens to be the R80 150 Ultegra. So with these derailleurs, the crash recovery mode, so to speak. Now these derailleurs, obviously the function button is on the rear derailleur, just there. So you haven't got any function button up on the end of your handlebar or under your stem. For these ones it's on the rear derailleur. So therefore there is no function. You can't lean down while you're riding and press the function button to do anything. That does nothing now on the 12-speed. So what happens is, say you're riding along, you might hit a big pothole or something or rough road while you're shifting, and then suddenly what'll happen is the derailleur will jump out and you'll be shifting, wondering what's going on and wondering why it's not engaged on the rear derailleur. So to get it so as it's working again, and all it is in here, it's basically like a cam that goes round while you're shifting and engages, and that's all it is. So what happens is it misaligns on that cam, so as it's not, as you're shifting, the motor is coming up out of there and it's engaging on this one here, and this is going round and pushing on the other one, on this one. That's all it is. So what happens is, and I'll demonstrate it in a minute, but what you need to do is, say if that happens to you, all you do is with your shifter for the rear, is wherever it's happened on the derailleur, could be down here, could be up there, whichever. So all you do is shift up and down with your lever, just keep, as you're pedalling, shift up, shift back down until it engages in there, and then it'll be working again. You might have to do it several times, just depends on what position you was in on the cassette when yours jumped out, so to speak. And that's all it is. So it's just a manual thing. You don't have to push any buttons or anything like that. There's nothing, you won't achieve anything by pushing the function button. So what I'll do is I'll just I'll take the chain off, because obviously it's harder to get it jump out with the chain on there. So I'll just whip the chain off and then I'll just show you it. So I'll just remove the derailleur off the hanger there so you can just see it. But if you see, the part I'm talking about is just there. So you've got that cam and this one, so this one comes round and it engages in there. So you can see just this piece here. See that? It just engages into the other one. That's all it is. So what happens when it goes into crash mode? So if you hit a pothole, something like that, where you're shifting, all that happens is that. So you see that there? So that is now not lined up. See that part there? So in other words, when it's like that, the derailleur is just moving, but it's not actually engaging. The motors won't be doing anything, so it's just until it engages there. So that's it in there, and then you see this is just free floating there. There's no resistance on it because it's not locked in, like that. And then as it comes round, so if it was like that, then you're pressing the button on the shifter while you're still pedalling, then the derailleur move over, and then all that happen is it'll click back in there. So it just clicks back into that notch, and that's all it is. So it's just a manual thing. No buttons need to be pushed anywhere apart from on your shifter, like that. And then it goes round, then it engages, and then it's back in, as in the derailleur is solid again, like that. It's not free floating anymore, it's locked into the gear position it's in. So that's all it is there, and it's the same for a 105, it's exactly the same, just the same there, same thing. Works the same principle there. Where it comes out, it's exactly the same. So same thing applies to 105 or Dura-Race, whatever you've got. So that's how it actually works on the bike. So if we put it back out again like that, as you see, I'll just hold on to it, just go up to the shifter, you'll see it moving like that. So the derailleur still moves, but it's not locked in position. You see there, so it moves round with it. You see that cam moving round. So what you need to do is keep shifting up and down until it just comes round and locks in like that. That's all that happen. It's just moving this one here. So I think it might get you out of trouble on a ride, just in case. There's nothing wrong with it, it just needs putting back in, notching back in. Now if you get stuck and it won't go back in, for instance, for some reason, all you do is you can put it back in manually by hand, like I've done then. So if it was out of line like that, it's just free moving, then if you get in trouble you could put it back in by hand. So better off moving the cage, letting some slack on the chain, because if the chain's into the cassette and into the teeth on here, when you try and pull across on it, when you're trying to move it over like this, it's going to be hard to do because the chain's interfering with it. So if you can take the chain off and do it, then obviously all you've got to do, if that was on the bike like that, that's just free moving around like I showed, and then it clicks in. So you can just do it by hand without the chain in the way and the tension of the chain being on it. So I hope you found the video helpful. If you did, remember to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more cycle related content. Till next one, ride safe and I'll see you then.